Hi friends, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel, Leila's Lovely Life. I am Leila. So today we're going to talk about chronic illness. So I came across an article recently and I posted it on my Facebook page, and I will find that article and I will link it down below. But the article basically was 8 things that I haven't told my family and friends about being chronically ill or chronically sick. So I, of course, clicked on that article and read it completely through because some of you know that I have hashimotos, thyroiditis, which is, I'm hypothyroid, which is the opposite of Graves' disease, which is you have an overactive thyroid, but my condition is I have an underactive thyroid, and it's a genetic disease. I think it runs in my family. My grandmother had it. She was undiagnosed, but she had all the symptoms. My aunt had it, and she took medication for it. My mother does not have it. My dad has a goiter on his thyroid, but he doesn't take medication. He might be undiagnosed because that is very common for thyroid problems. If it doesn't show up on the test that they do, but you still have the symptoms, that's very common. And then later in life you'll be diagnosed, which is what happened to me. I had a lot of the symptoms, but it wasn't until I got pregnant with my daughter, which was over 19 years ago, about 20 years ago now, that they found it and started treating me for it. So that's my particular chronic illness. If you're watching this, you probably have a chronic illness that you are trying to communicate different things to your family and they may just not be getting it. So I want this video basically to be a tool for you to use if you have a chronic illness that you can share with your friends and your family. So number one, we want you to know that our lives are very different from your lives. And then I'm just going to read parts of this because I can't remember everything and I don't have a teleprompter. So the article says, in addition to all of the regular challenges that are part of adulthood, we also have to worry about pain, fatigue, brain fog, medications, a ton of doctor's appointments, physical limitations. The list is different for everybody. And we try hard to keep up with people's expectations of us. So all of that is true. Our lives are very different from the life of a, I guess, quote unquote normal person, whatever that is. I think the more damage we do to our environment and the more processed we allow our lives to become, we are seeing chronic disease in a lot more people than we used to. It used to be probably rare, unless it was genetic, that people had thyroid problems, diabetes, heart disease, these things that seem to be more common now than they used to be. So I think that this discussion needs to happen. Number two, it's not fair to have the same expectations from us as you would from a perfectly healthy person. Again, the younger you are, the excuse me, the less toxins you build up you have in your body, the more healthy you are. You can shop till you drop. You can do things that we used to probably be able to do. Some of us were born with these chronic illnesses. I had a friend who got arthritis when she was in like the 4th or 5th grade, So, some people are born with different things, but some people get these things, these chronic illnesses, later on in life. So we know what it felt like to be perfectly healthy. Some of us do. So chronic illness is something that we have to deal with every day of our lives. Just because we are smiling doesn't mean we aren't in pain, aren't confused, aren't trying to feel normal. So that's a big one. Like, take for instance the way I look right now. Of course, this takes, my hair's curly, I straightened it, I put makeup on. But you can hear in my voice that I'm still not well. And this is something that I personally have to deal with. Is this scratchy, gravelly voice for a lot of part of every year. I don't like it. I don't know what to do about it, but unless I open my mouth, you wouldn't know that something was wrong. Brain fog. I have a lot of brain fog. I'm not as in pain as somebody with like fibromyalgia is, but I do, one side effect of hypothyroidism is joint pain. So I do deal with it occasionally. But we are trying to feel normal. We do want to be perfectly healthy. But we're not. We're just not. So it's kind of like you can't expect a child with dyslexia to write the same as a child who doesn't have it. It's the kind of disability you can see on paper. But a lot of our illnesses are like you can't see them, you know. So just because we look normal doesn't mean that what is going on in our body is normal. Number 3, if you see us enjoying ourselves, it doesn't mean we aren't sick. Okay, and now I'm going to read again. Do you know we have to save our energy all week long just to go out that one night? Or that it took a lot of convincing from my family and everything in me to drag myself outside in an effort to feel better? And sometimes the entire time you're out, you feel sick and you try to hide it so the people who are around you will have fun. This is absolutely true. When I was younger, I could go out. I could be out till 12 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, drive home, no problem. I can't do that anymore. I physically cannot do that anymore. And that's just the way it is. And if I take a picture of myself having fun and post it on Instagram, more than likely, like if it's dark out, it's daylight savings time right now. It gets dark out at 6. It doesn't mean I'm partying all night. It just doesn't. And like this article said, I save up my energy. And even that sometimes doesn't work. For me, this is for me. I can only speak for myself. But you use energy throughout the day. So basically saving up your energy means, you just don't do something too strenuous to where you will get sick before you have to do something. We have to save our energy. And then we have to recover. So number 4 is we pay the price for it each time. So every time you see us whooping it up or spending an entire day out of the house, you will find us trying to recuperate the next few days. Our energy is like money, and we spend every single day budgeting it wisely. That's true. That's just how it is for people with chronic illness. We have to budget our energy. And yes, after we sleep, sometimes it depends on what you have. You can wake up feeling refreshed and ready to go for the day. Sometimes you don't wake up feeling refreshed and you're still exhausted after 12 hours of sleep. That can happen. Like I said, depending on whatever it is you have. Number 5, fatigue is different than being tired. So being tired after a long day is normal. Being fatigued after sleeping for 10 hours is not. Tired is flexible, fatigue is not. Yeah. About 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, I have to be in bed. And I do wake up early, I guess, around 6:30, 6:30. You know, after a long day's work, or, you know, after you do something strenuous, you work out, you move your house. I mean, you move the furniture in your house. Just things like that. You expect to be tired, but fatigue is like waking up tired, or just being tired for no reason and having to take a nap. Your family wanting to go shopping and you're just like, I have to take a nap. Like, if I go with you, I'm gonna fall asleep. Probably end up sleeping in the car while y'all are at the mall or something. So number 6, we're gonna live like this for the rest of our lives. They may find a cure for our particular disease. They may come up with a new, you know, drug that will help us, but that doesn't undo the damage that has already been done to our bodies. Unfortunately, we may cancel or just not show up to things. It's not personal. So I don't agree with we just won't show up to things, because come on, we're adults. If you promise somebody you'll be there, you need to call them and let them know. But yeah, this is not uncommon. So for people that we love, it's easy to say, well, you're going to get better, because that's what we want. And so we tell people, we tell ourselves, tomorrow's going to be better. Just get through the day. Tomorrow will be better. And that's not a bad attitude to have. It's not a bad thing to believe, because there are days that you feel really, really good. And then there are days that you don't. Sometimes diseases go through different, you know, stages. But if you're chronically ill, your body's just going to get more and more, your organs are just going to get more and more worn out. I mean, that happens as we age naturally. So that's just how it is. But, you know, we lost a dear friend of ours last year, and she was 98 years old. But she could outdo me. Just she didn't have any chronic illnesses. She barely took any aspirin if she had a headache. She was an amazing woman, but she didn't have any chronic illnesses, and she could just go. She had difficulty walking, of course, you can imagine. So if you expect, you know, someone with a chronic illness to be cured, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice and the person with the illness a disservice. Of course, we always want to live in hope. I'm not saying that don't live in hope, but live in reality while you're hoping, because you have to have compassion and empathy for the person who has the chronic illness. Trust me, they're trying the best that they can, and they're trying to make everybody happy, while at the same time listening to to their body / my body, and just trying to just do the best all around for everybody. So number 7, we don't want to complain. So this is why a lot of people with chronic illness don't talk about it. And this is why you probably won't know if someone has a chronic illness, because we don't want to walk around all the time saying, oh, I'm so tired, or oh, I have to go to this doctor's appointment, or oh, this hurts, or whatever. We don't want to be that person to complain. So when we do complain, a lot of times it's because we are just in so much pain that we're like, hey, I can't, I just have to stop, or we're so tired, or whatever it is. Usually when we complain, we don't really complain. We've reached the end of our rope and we have to stop. And so if we're out with you when that happens, and I'll use me as an example. I have like this imaginary wall that I hit. And once I've hit that wall, I can't continue to go. And I just have to stop what I'm doing. So if that means leaving someplace early and coming home, that's what it's going to mean. And so we don't want to complain. Normally we don't complain. Like I said, if we are complaining, like, oh, this hurts so bad, it's because it really hurts. And we've reached our limit and we need help, or we need to get someplace we can help ourselves. And number 8, we just want acceptance. And for you to know that we're doing the best that we can. We just want to be accepted just like everybody else does. Even though it's an invisible illness, like my particular illness, one of the side effects is it's easy to gain weight and it's hard to lose weight. If you see, like if you know you yourself gain weight when you sit on the couch and you eat a whole box of cookies and a whole bag of chips. So you assume that's what we're doing, and all we've eaten is a salad that day and a handful of, sunflower seeds or something. Yeah, you may lose 10 pounds in a week if you ate like that all day, every day. But I won't lose any weight if I eat like that. That's just a side effect of being hypothyroid. It's not something that I chose. It's not something that I want to live with. It's something I have to live with. But I just thought that this video was important to make. Just so that maybe you could share it with your family and friends. I know I stumble around a lot. That's partly due to brain fog. It's partly also just because, I'm human. If you liked this video or found it helpful, give me a thumbs up. That really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. I would love to have you. And then while you're there, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you in my next video, friends. Bye.